You can expect to dry the boat first thing in the morning every single day. Depending on the weather and humidity, it may take a few minutes or it could take several hours. As soon as the sun goes down, the boat tends to sweat or get dewy. Moisture in boats are a bad combination. Metals rust, covers get moldy, unsightly dust and dirt particles collect and settle on the fiberglass, and water and muddy footprints get tracked all over the interior and exterior. It's harder to tell when you dry it every day, but once a boat has gone 3 to 4 days without being dried, you'll notice these details start to show. So drying the boat really is necessary, even if you initially don't see the point. So let's go over the boat drying tools that you'll likely be using. First, we got your chamois, or as I like to call it, the chamois jammy. Next is the chamois mop head, which you can attach to a pole. Then we've got your window squeegee, which you'll use for windows only. And you may have other squeegees for really wet fiberglass, tops, flat spots, and decks. I like to bring a bucket with me to wring out my chamois. And of course, you've got your pole jobby, which you can attach your chamois mop head to. But be sure to attach it correctly so it doesn't fly off and ding up the boat. Make sure your chamois has the right amount of dampness. You don't want to be too dry or too wet. And as you dry the boat, it will get really damp. So I'll just pretend like I'm drying the boat right now. And as you can see, this is not going to make the boat any drier. So you're going to hang off the side somewhere and just give it a little wring. Get all the wetness out, and then continue doing the chamois jammy. So now find the sunny part of your section. You're going to want to dry that first. We're going to break down a good technique for what order to dry this port section of the boat. So you always want to start with the top or the ceiling if there is one. From there, you're probably going to want to hit the windows, and then you'll want to hit all of the metals. Maybe sometimes vice versa depending on the sun. After that, just go from high to low, working your way down, and be sure to hit all the flat spots on your way. The last thing you're going to want to hit is the deck, and then the drains. You always want to do a final walk around and make sure you didn't miss any spots, which is easy to do. So if the top is really wet, you may want to use a squeegee to knock off all the water first. Otherwise, you should be able to dry it with a hand chamois or a chamois mop if you're a shorty like me and you can't reach. Now for the windows, you'll make sure the top above it is dry. Then you can dry it with the window squeegee. For the metals, you'll pretty much always just use a hand chamois jammy, but maybe even sometimes a chamois mop head for the bigger parts. Then for high to low and flat spots, could be a combination of a chamois or chamois mop. But if it's really wet, you probably want to knock the water off with a squeegee too. So for the deck and drains, you'll pretty much always use a chamois mop and a squeegee.